Hey guys, it's COREROSS and welcome to Six News. Today we're talking about rank changes coming to Rainbow Six Siege X. And this all comes from a social media video released by the developers just a couple of days ago. And interestingly, it also shows that in Operation Prep phase the season we're currently in, they've been changing the ranked matchmaking every single week this entire season, with the plan to fine-tune the rank system for the launch of Siege X, which of course has happened on June 10th. They also showed that this tiny little clip, which is just simply being used as kind of background video play, but it reveals something about Siege X's ranks that I think we should dive into. So first of all, this looks like an in-game menu with the ranked matchmaking beginning, and it's showing the ranks of all the players. And interestingly, it also has all of their skills, but in brackets it says hidden. So I think this is not an in-game menu. This is actually a YouTube video they'll release in the future to explain the ranked system, which currently they don't have, which is quite crazy to think about that because they've released some blog posts and stuff explaining ranked and gone into as much depth as they can, but they've never actually released a video and they've always left that up to content creators to make. And I've certainly had my attempt at it a couple of times and I'm never happy with how they end up coming out. And they're always too long as well. And then other content creators actually have sometimes regular uploads where they try to explain Rank 2.0 over and over again. So yeah, let's actually break this down and we'll go over what it means for Siege X's ranked system. So of course, this is showing the ranked matchmaking, but it's a visual representation. And I think it's in a YouTube video they'll be releasing later, probably up towards Siege X's launch. And of course, this will be part of it with a visual representation of how the system works. And you can also see that they blanked out some subtitles at the bottom of this, as all Ubisoft videos have subtitles on them. So this makes perfect sense. And what it shows is 5 players matchmaking for ranked, and you can see their individual visual ranks. And then you can also see their skill ratings and how it's not connected to their actual ranks. And you can also see that their skill rating is in brackets hidden. So that's a good thing to just note, because we've been wondering, will they make this skill rating visible in game? Will there be some way to see it? And of course, you cannot currently see your teammates' ranks without like using some sort of third-party tracker. You can't see the skill rating at all, even when using a third-party tracker. So it looks like they're still going with the hidden skill rating. I would still like this to be somewhat visible because I think having it hidden just confuses people to no end. And that's why we have content creators sometimes releasing regular videos explaining Rank 2.0. But this confirms, I think, that with Siege X, they're not planning to change direction there when it comes to showing the skill rating. But it looks like they're going to try and explain it in their own dedicated video. So I'll be interested to see how well they explain it in their video. Of course, they've got a bigger budget than me, so I'm hoping it'll be really good. However, let's take a step back to the actual post itself and the other stuff I told you about, which is that they've been changing the matchmaking every single week through Operation Prep phase, trying to fine-tune the matchmaking before Siege X's launch. So they've been implementing new technology over the last couple of seasons. So they brought in team rebalancing, which is supposed to hopefully make the games more balanced. They brought in phantom player to hopefully make it so that if one high skill player is on your team and then a whole bunch of low skill players, it still manages to make that a balanced match. And then they've got dynamic matchmaking, which is supposed to help with making matchmaking faster. However, they also mentioned that matchmaking might be slower, and that's because high skill players have been saying that they're quite happy to wait in the queue longer to get better quality matches. So they say at the end of this video that please do not cancel the matchmaking too early, because it might be that it's taken longer than usual, but that's actually part of the new system to try and improve matchmaking. And then I'll also ask you to comment below if you've played this season and you're like a regular person who jumps onto rank every single week. I'd love to know if you've felt something different from week to week to week when it comes to the matchmaking, because you might well have felt the changes that are been happening. Whereas I hold off with my ranked games for a little bit, then I jump in and I play like over 3 weekends really intensely. So I wouldn't have been playing regularly enough to actually feel the difference when it came to week in ranked matchmaking. Now, of course, if you're actually hoping that they would go back to ranked 1.0 with Siege X's launch, I think this confirms that they're definitely not looking to go back. And to me, I feel like we're on ranked 2.5 at this moment in time as they tweak it. I don't think, though, they're ever going to give it another number. I don't think that, I think they'll continue to tweak it over time, but I don't think they'll ever go for like a full-on number change and go like to rank 3.0 or anything like that. in the future. But it is good to see that they're continuing to work on it, and they seem to be working up to something major that they'll be going with CGX's launch, and hopefully it'll be decent. But obviously it will be ranked 1.0. The skill rating looks like it'll still be hitting, and at least they'll be putting out an explanation video, it looks like, going forward from here. But anyway, guys, that's a little update on ranked for Siege X. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you next time.
Over the past few seasons, we've introduced a number of new matchmaking features. That's team rebalancing, phantom player, and dynamic matchmaking. As with most of our features, we track some qualitative data, and we really want to look into how it's been working out and where we want to focus next. We introduced dynamic matchmaking at the start of Operation Prep phase, and we heard some voices within the community talk about some inconsistencies within the matchmaking, and our data had backed that up as well. Some of the metrics that we look at is the percentage of matches that go 4-0, and the percentage of matches that reach overtime. And at the beginning of the season, for the champ and diamond level players, those numbers were not where we wanted them to be. We've been doing updates with the matchmaking every week, looking at the data, seeing what the improvements or drawbacks would be, and making a next step from there. Through our consistent weekly tweaks, we've now been able to get our quality of our matchmaking back to the Year 9 Season 4 levels. That means that our 4-0s and our overtime matches are getting to a point where they're similar to Year 9 Season 4, but actually much faster due to dynamic matchmaking. So for our general player base, we're actually quite happy about that. But we've also heard from our higher skilled players that they're willing to wait a little bit longer for a better high quality match. So as we continue to tweak and update our matchmaking, we're going to ask for some help from you all as well. One of the qualitative metrics that we look at is the percentage of queues that are canceled while someone's waiting for a match. And if this goes up by a large amount, it can be scary for us because we're always trying to balance the wait time versus the quality of the match that we can offer. If you notice that your matchmaking queues start to creep up and are a little bit longer, please just don't cancel. We're trying to find you the highest quality match we can. With dynamic matchmaking, it works completely different than how it used to. Previously, the longer you would wait, your skill would relax, meaning you might get a stronger or weaker person within your match. It's not the case anymore. It's completely based on server load. So just remain in queue. The system is trying its best to find you a high quality match. Now with our matchmaking tools heading in the right direction, gives us an opportunity to start looking at some of our playlists and thinking about some of the feedback that we've received. As we move towards Siege X, we're quite happy with the progress we've made during Operation Prep phase, and we're going to keep working and fine-tuning all the way up until Siege X. This wouldn't be possible without the hard work from our team, but also without the feedback from you. The good, the bad, keep sharing. We're listening, we're looking at it, and it helps a lot. Thank you.